The Associate Minister for Immigration has received a request for ministerial intervention in the case of Mark Middleton, who 56 years after he arrived in New Zealand as a preschooler, was last week picked up from his work by immigration officials and held overnight in a police cell. Mark Middleton was the stepfather of 13-year-old Lower Hutt girl Karla Cardno, abducted by Paul Joseph Daly as she rode her bike home from local shops in 1989. Daly raped Karla Cardno, then severely beat her and buried her alive. He was jailed for her murder in 1990. In 2001, Mark Middleton received a suspended prison sentence for threatening to kill Daly should he ever be released from prison. Mark Middleton has no other convictions. He and Karla's mum, Veronica, now raise their teenage son together, Karla's half-brother, of course. Earlier this afternoon, Mark Middleton told me what happened last Tuesday.
Well, I got a call in the morning asking me from the Lower Hutt police station, asking me if I'd go in, and I said, yep, not a problem. They said, where are you at the moment? I said, oh, I'm up the line. And they said, oh, when can you make it here? I said, oh, I'll pop down and I'll be in the police station at 4 o'clock.
So you told them you'd come into the police station. You were quite happy to do that. You said you'd go in at 4 o'clock. And you would have gone, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely I would have. But anyway, they turned up in my work and got me out on the pavement and arrested me and took me down to Wellington Central and, you know, took a few of my things off me and my belt and my shoes and chucked me in a cold cell for a couple of days, so, you know.
Who turned up at work? Who came to get you?
Immigration and the police.
And how did they treat you?
Oh, it was pretty hostile, John. Pretty hostile.
And what did they say you were being treated in this fashion for? What was the thing that you were alleged to have done? They told me that they had no records of me pre-86 and that I'd snuck into the country and I was an overstayer. You were a pretty precocious overstayer because you snuck into the country aged 4, right? Which is quite clever. And I enrolled myself in school, let's not forget that. Yeah. So you were 4 years old when you arrived. And I think, if I've got the details correct, you've left New Zealand once in your life since then, right? You went on a family holiday to Fiji in 86.
Yeah, that's correct, yep. And that was a bit of a disaster because the coup happened.
And you came back, and immigration, when you returned from the family holiday to the coup in 86, immigration said, who are you?
No, they didn't. They just stamped my passport and let me in.
And so you are...
They just let me in.
Right. And so in what way are you an overstayer?
Well, I don't know. I've been asking, you see, my lawyer and I have been feeding off emails to immigration now all last week and over the weekend and today asking for the file, and they're not giving it to us at the moment. I don't know why.
So you're not getting your own file. Had you had any official warning? Had you had any correspondence from them saying that this was about to happen?
Yeah, well, no, but they did say they sent me a letter 30 years ago or something, and I don't recall getting that letter, but, you know, that's what they said they've done.
So what are you going to do?
Well, what can I do, John, you know? What can I do? I've just got to make submissions to immigration. If that fails, I've got to go to the Associate Minister, and if all else fails, then they're going to ship me out somewhere to a foreign country.
And it would be a foreign country, wouldn't it? When were you last in England?
1962.
Yeah, it was a bloody stupid question because you've only been to Fiji since you arrived, right? So do you know anyone there? Have you got any family there? Is there any connection with England?
No, not really. I know there's a couple of cousins or something over there, but I wouldn't know them if I even walked by them in the street. I haven't kept in touch, you know, as you probably should do, but, you know, I don't know anybody over there. It's hard to say, really, but I'm a friendly bugger, you know.
Hey, so are you working? Have you been able to go back to work?
No, they've immigration rang up my employers and terminated my employment.
Wait, so you are the breadwinner. How long have you been in that job for, Mark?
Oh, about 2 and a bit years or something.
What is it? What were you doing?
I was teaching building, construction and trade schools.
And immigration phoned your boss?
Yep.
And said what?
Told them to terminate my employment.
This is all really peculiar, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's pretty heavy, actually, John. You know, New Zealand puts itself out as the bastion of human rights and so on, and it's just like, this is really pretty heavy, I thought. Pretty heavy-handed, anyway. It's sort of take no prisoners stuff, isn't it? You know? Might be, I don't know, even if it was a technicality, mate. You know, even if they have got me on a technicality, I mean, surely it can be sorted out.
Without pulling you into the cells and holding you in the cells? Do they hold you in overnight?
Yeah, they took me in there and stripped me down and put me in the cells. It was bloody cold, I got to say. Got some canvassy thing, excuse for a blanket, and had my food served up on the floor next to the toilet, you know. So I just wasn't prepared to eat it, not prepared to eat that, you know, for cultural reasons.
And did anyone call Veronica and tell her where you were?
No, nobody.
So you had just disappeared without trace, which in the context of what Veronica has gone through is actually a terrible thing.
Oh, it's an awful, awful thing. You know, I asked them to contact her, but they wouldn't. I said, at least just give me my phone and let me ring her, you know, so that she knows. But they wouldn't let me do that, and they didn't contact her at all, and she was absolutely, you know, distraught. And my youngest boy, he was just all over the place, you know.
Mark Middleton, so what does Immigration New Zealand say to all of this? Well, they wouldn't be interviewed, referring us to a day-old written statement instead. So we went to the Associate Minister's office, who referred us to Immigration New Zealand, saying they were responding. We pointed out that they weren't responding. The Associate Minister's office then told us a request for ministerial intervention had just been received and they couldn't therefore comment. Immigration New Zealand then said they couldn't talk while the Minister considers the case, and so no one is available to respond to Mr Middleton. We would love to talk to anyone.